The Yankees have a total of 9 players hitting free agency in 2024 who will be back in pinstripes. What's going on, guys? The King of Honor 61st Street. I'm back with another video, and let's start this off. Some of the lesser names on this list, because as you know, there's some high caliber names here. So let's start off with 2 separate guys, Lou Trevino and Jonathan Loaisiga, both relievers, one right-handed reliever, one left-handed reliever. Let's start off with Lou Trevino. He's a little bit of an easier case. He came over in the Frankie Montas deal, and very similarly to Frankie Montas, he was supposed to be a great depth piece for that pitching staff, specifically the bullpen. Being a lefty guy with a tremendous break on his pitches, he was going to be a setup guy for Clay Holmes at the time. Injuries ruined his Yankees tenure, barely played any games. I would be shocked if the Yankees actually brought him back. He provided little to no value to this team, even though he had the talent to be an X factor out of that bullpen. Nothing seemed to go right for him in his Yankees tenure. I think he would be the first player out of the door. This second player is a little bit more of a tricky one because of his tenure here. Jonathan Loaisiga came up around the same time as the Gleyber Torres crew. Everyone knows the talent Jonathan Loaisiga is. High 90s to low hundreds fastball with tremendous break on his pitches. He could be, if he stayed healthy, a top-of-the-line bullpen piece, similar to what a Luke Weaver turned into in 2024. The injuries keep mounting up, and they all happen in his arm. Doesn't seem like he's getting better. Every season we come in to April saying Jonathan Loaisiga is going to be an X factor. Dark horse, big bullpen piece, Jonathan Loaisiga. He comes out strong, firing on all cylinders. And then we get the report. Jonathan Loaisiga hits the 60-day IL, is going to have Tommy John surgery, not going to be back until late next year. That year comes, he gets the same fucking injury. At this point, it's a sad thing to say because, like I said, the talent is there. And if you could harness that, you could make him into an all-star caliber he would be coming in the 8th inning of an all-star game. I would guarantee that if only he'd stay healthy. He is never able to stay healthy, and the best ability is availability. The Yankees are going to let Jonathan Loaisiga go. It will hurt for some of us Yankees fans that saw him come up the ranks in the mid-2010s through 2020s, seeing the talent grow and grow, seeing what he could have been. I don't think he'll ever reach that top potential. Hopefully, a team gives him an opportunity. Maybe it seems like the Angels are investing in pitching. Maybe he goes to a situation like that, sort of rebuilds himself, similar to a Luis Severino, and maybe we revisit this in a couple years. But right now, he is at a point in his career where I don't know if the pieces can be put back together. Next bullpen piece on the list is Tim Hill, the player that should have come in the bottom of the 9th against the Dodgers in Game 1. Tim Hill was incredible once we got him off of waivers from the White Sox. The left-hander was a tremendous piece, especially in the postseason, for a team that desperately needed lefty bullpen arms. We had Michael Tonkin for a lot of the year, and he looked great too. The Yankees then DFA'd him to bring in Phil Bickford. Bickford did not work out, so the Yankees were kind of stuck and needed Tim Hill to step up. And boy, did he step up. To me, I think you do what you have to do to bring him back. Whether it's a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal worth about $16 to $20 million, you do the deal. Tim Hill, if he can replicate what he did in 2024 in pinstripes, is a key factor in what the Yankees are doing in that bullpen, especially because the Yankees have said going into this offseason, they are looking to invest in the bullpen. This is a guy you keep if you want to invest in the bullpen. And I would say a lot of the same things about the next guy, Tommy Kahnle, another guy who stepped up big time in the postseason, even in the World Series, in those 3 games that we should have and or did win. Yes, Tommy Kahnle can be predictable at times. As major league hitters say, it's a good fucking pitch. So he's going to keep throwing it. Tommy Kahnle is effective, he is efficient, and he is a perfect veteran to have in that bullpen, fit behind some of these guys like Luke Weaver, like some of the young guys that could be coming up. This is the guy that would be a great mentor for them. Another guy you keep in pinstripes no matter what, obviously. If the price gets a little bit crazy, basically like Wandy Peralta last offseason, if someone gives him a 5-year deal, all right, whatever. His market stays between a 2-year deal and maybe even a 3-year deal. These are guys you keep around. Now, the last but certainly not least bullpen arm is Clay Holmes, and his market is going to be a little bit difficult to gauge because when Clay Holmes is on, he is an all-star caliber closer. He literally made the all-star team in 2024. When Clay Holmes is pitching to the ability that he can, he is one of the best closers in baseball at times. Do you guys remember the start of the year when he went about 7 to 10 saves without blowing one? He had about 7 to 8 appearances without giving up a single run. That's the type of stuff Clay Holmes can do on the baseball field. When Clay Holmes is able to harness that sinker in a way where he can locate it on the inside part of the plate to righties, he's able to get it to drift away from lefties, but it's not going too ridiculously out, and then is able to duck that slider right into that bottom left-hand corner. He is virtually unstoppable at times. The problem with him is inconsistency. That sinker does not do that as often as it should. The slider working off of that sinker, if that sinker isn't working the way it should, he's going to try and throw strikes with that slider. And when he throws strikes with that slider, that's when he blows 5 to 10 saves a year. He blew even more in 2024. So this is where I would say the Yankees are not going to bring him back. To me, I think a team that is in the middle of the pack, that's looking to make that next step, is going to look at Clay Holmes and give him more money than the Yankees are willing to pay him because they see the talent that is there. I see him getting a 3 to 4 year deal. I see him getting close to $25 million. That's the type of deal that would make the Yankees go, no. We see what can happen in the Clay Holmes experience, and he is not worth that. And there are certain guys that the Yankees can go get in free agency. Yes, maybe could cost more, but they are far more efficient, far more consistent than Clay Holmes. And especially with the arrival of closer Luke Weaver, it's a done deal. I don't think the Yankees are bringing him back unless his market has fully tanked. And I do not see that happening, knowing the amount of talent that he even showed in this year. So Clay Holmes is a no. Now we get to the position players. There are 4 in total. We started off with Alex Verdugo, the first-year Yankee coming over from Boston, and what a roller coaster it was. Started off his tenure here really strong out the gate. He had that whole dog bit going. It was looking like he was going to become a fan favorite, which was a bit of a debate knowing that he was coming from Boston. After a few good months, he fell off a fucking cliff. And he never really rebuilt back to that first half form that we saw. Yes, in the postseason, he had some huge hits. Think back to game 1 in the ALDS. Driving in Jazz Chisholm Jr. from second base on a base hit the other way. Huge. But overall, I think the Yankees can find a depth piece because I don't see them starting him in 2025. They could find depth pieces for cheaper. I don't think we see Alex Verdugo in pinstripes, and I think if they had to redo it, they probably would have gone a different direction. But I do thank Alex Verdugo because I think a lot of the locker room camaraderie and how these guys have said this is the best locker room they've ever been in, I think he has a lot to do with that because of the first half and how he was able to galvanize the team in that way. I'm not saying he will be missed, but I am one to appreciate what he brought to this team. Next up on the list, very similarly in terms of appreciation, but this guy will get far more appreciation out the door, it's Anthony Rizzo. The Yankees have other options on the table. They've already come out and said they're going to be aggressive in trying to get Christian Walker, a platinum glove caliber defender who could also hit for power. Anthony Rizzo, although being a left-handed hitter, he could be a guy the Yankees look at and say if he would be willing to be a bench bat that comes in only certain situations, then maybe he's back. The injuries are piling up, and he hasn't really been the same since early 2023, before the concussion he suffered on the Fernando Tatis play. With the inconsistencies that have been in Anthony Rizzo's game since that moment, I don't see a world where the Yankees are going to overpay to bring him back. But like I said about Alex Verdugo, Anthony Rizzo is another guy in that clubhouse that these guys respect. These guys admire a guy like Anthony Rizzo, a World Series champion, a guy who at times was at the caliber of Christian Walker defensively. But the Yankees look like they're going in a different direction. Again, as a depth piece, I could definitely see a guy like Aaron Judge being able to persuade Anthony Rizzo into staying with the team on a bench platoon role if needed. But the Yankees are not going to go above and beyond to keep him. And that makes me think, basically like Clay Holmes, a team will take a chance on Anthony Rizzo, whether that be an AL Central team. Let's say maybe even the Guardians would take a chance on him, knowing that Santana is probably gone. Maybe you'll see a team like St. Louis bring him in, try and create a reclamation project, especially if they trade Wilson Contreras. There's a lot of options that Anthony Rizzo could have. And he could even go to some of the bottom feeder teams, Colorado, Miami, even LA, the Angels. These teams could possibly be willing to pay him a lot of money. And if they are willing to pay him a lot of money, he will not be back in pinstripe. Now let's get to the talk of the town. Gleyber Torres, he's already taken the Yankees out of his bio and his profile pictures. It seems like that relationship is gone, but I don't know if the bridge is fully burned yet. There will be questions about what a guy like maybe Caleb Durbin can do that would make him a better option than Gleyber Torres, other than he's cheaper. Gleyber Torres, the way he ended 2024, is going to make the Yankees think long and hard about whether or not he is actually an important piece to the team. And if I were the Yankees, I would make sure I'm at least in on the discussions for Gleyber Torres, because the Gleyber Torres market is going to look weird, to say the least. There's a chance that he's going to get a Cody Bellinger, Matt Chapman, Blake Snell type deal, which is either a 2-year deal with an opt-out in the middle, or even just a flat 1-year deal to prove that the second half of 2024 is actually the Gleyber Torres that a team is going to get. And if that's the case, if his market is a 1-year deal worth, let's say, $20 to $25 million, if not maybe a little bit more, 27, 28, the Yankees should be in on that. Because even though they want to re-sign Juan Soto, who we'll get to in a minute, a 1-year deal is fine. Because you could also, if he doesn't work out and you really want Caleb Durbin to be in that starting lineup over Gleyber Torres, all you got to do is trade him to another contender for a bunch of prospects, have them work with Gleyber Torres for a couple months, and then you basically clean your hands with that contract. But on the flip side, he could be a possible catalyst, an awesome season, and possibly a playoff run, basically like this year. Now, if the market gets a little bit crazy, let's say a team wants to offer him 5 to 7 years on 20 to 25 million per year, the Yankees are out on that, and I'd understand. But the Yankees should be at least monitoring the Gleyber Torres situation and keeping in contact with his management. Again, we don't know whether the second half of 2024 is really what Gleyber Torres is, or if that was a fever dream. That's where my prediction of him possibly getting a 1-year deal could come from. And if he's getting a 1-year deal, the Yankees should be involved in possibly getting that deal with Gleyber Torres done. Now let's get to the main guy that you guys all want. It's Juan Soto, and obviously the Yankees are going to want him in pinstripe. I think the Yankees are going to do whatever it is that they have to keep Juan Soto. This offense this season stayed afloat because of Juan Soto. When no one else in the lineup other than him and Judge could hit, the fact that we did still have two consistent hitters in the regular season kept this offense having an ability to win a few games when we're going on these treacherous slumps in the summertime. Although to me, I think Jazz was the main catalyst of us getting out of that slump. It didn't hurt having two consistent rocks in that lineup to help remedy some of the situations we had. Now that we have a lineup that could have Jazz there full time, Volpe looks like he's going to take a next step. We'll see where that goes. We'll see what first base looks like. If it is Christian Walker, that's another beast of a bat to have in that lineup. To have a guy like Juan Soto in the middle of all of that, this offense could look even better than it did last year. And last year, the offense was pretty fucking good. They were the best team in baseball against right-handed pitching. The best team in baseball. Juan Soto's a real reason for that. And I do believe Juan Soto wants to be in pinstripe. Look at the meetings that he is setting up. Who is the last team that he is talking to? He is talking to the Yankees last. What does that mean, you may ask? Well, it basically gives the Yankees last dibs on giving him the best deal. Everyone else gets to put up their first offers, and then the Yankees get to say, okay, we'll match. Or, you know what? We'll go a little bit over that. Let's just make sure we get this done. I truly think Juan Soto wants to be a Yankee. He wants to stay in pinstripes. He wants to stay in this clubhouse. And that's what that set of meetings, the fact that we are last, that's exactly what that tells me. Hopefully, Hal and Brian can get this done. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. New here, hit that sub button. Trying to get to 1,000 subs by next year. I truly think we can get there. I need your help to do it. So hit that sub button, hit the notification bell, comment below. Is there anyone that I said we shouldn't bring back that you would want back? Who in free agency do you think is an X factor for the Yankees to sign? Let me know everything and all your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm out of here. Take care and peace.